as far as the business of boxing.
The best thing is the fighter needs to take almost everything.
You paid all that money and had the biggest stage in boxing on Netflix, and that is really the best they could do?
He knew that he could not beat Bud Crawford, which is why they basically paid him $100 million.
Canelo admitted that he took it easy on Crawford after the defeat, speaking about the fight on Joe Rogan's podcast. He revealed that he didn't give his full effort in the ring and intentionally held back. According to Canelo, he fought at half speed, stayed flat-footed, and allowed Crawford to appear better than he actually was. He further stated that money and business played a role in how the bout unfolded, confessing that he was paid to hold back and not fight with his usual drive.
Well, how does that work? Because it's not pay-per-view, so they still...
Netflix putting up the money.
So I'm saying, so they don't get no back end then?
No, there is no back end. There's ticket sales.
Yeah, because you know, pay-per-view, the back end is the most.
There's no pay-per-view.
I guess if you give me $50 million up front, I don't really care about the back end.
This statement confirmed what many in boxing circles had already been saying in the immediate aftermath. Fans and experts quickly noticed something was off with Canelo's performance. He rarely used his jab, a key weapon throughout his career. He didn't build combinations or pressure Crawford with his trademark rhythm. Instead, he threw isolated punches, often stood still, and never showed urgency even as rounds slipped away. The punch stats supported this, ranking among the lowest totals of his career. At first, people assumed it was age or decline, but his admission reshaped that narrative.
He don't have the punching power, but he has the skills that's necessary.
Crawford.
Yeah.
So you were very impressed with his performance? Would you say?
Well, yeah. You know, the point of the matter is, you know, I knew if it came down to if somebody got knocked out, I thought Crawford would probably get knocked out.
Yeah.
But I know about.
Oscar De La Hoya was among the first to raise suspicions. Just hours after the fight, he posted online, "What was that? I know Canelo was slow, but not that slow. And I know Canelo was weak, but not that weak. Did Canelo train or was he paid to lose?" For De La Hoya, who promoted Canelo for years, the performance was unrecognizable. This was not the Canelo he knew. Having seen him in training camps, where sharpness and volume were evident, this fight felt completely opposite. Watching him against Crawford, De La Hoya did not believe it was merely age.
When he got hit by Crawford and he took that deep breath, he's frustrated. Don't get me wrong, Canelo facing the right opponent that's gonna stay in front of him, that's gonna fight, that's gonna make it a brawl, Canelo knocks him out. So I'm not saying Canelo's shot or done. No, it's far from.
Veteran fighter Gabe Rosado also gave his view. He said Canelo fought with heavy feet, no jab, no combinations, and only single punches at a time. For Rosado, it looked like the showing of someone long past his prime, not a champion still carrying titles. His remarks aligned with Canelo's own comments. Against Golovkin and other elite names, Canelo doubled the jab, fired crisp combinations, and pressured opponents. Against Crawford, Rosado noted, none of that appeared.
Watching Bud catch those shots off his glove,
he looked amazing.
So amazing.
Yeah, he looked good.
Yeah. He'd go to a body and he'd catch that and come up with an uppercut. You know, just all those things that seem...
He looked great.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody do that to ever.
No one has. Yeah, he's the best.
Canelo. Ever.
Yeah, he's the best.
And I think he would do that to Canelo on his best day. And Canelo said it, he goes, I couldn't figure him out.
No.
Which is...
Claressa Shields also argued that Canelo's body was simply breaking down. In her opinion, he could no longer move, throw combinations, or rely on his legs. She saw it as the natural conclusion of a long career. That seemed reasonable at the time. David Benavidez, one of Canelo's most vocal rivals, has long claimed that Alvarez avoids difficult challenges. Before facing Crawford, he insisted Canelo picked favorable fights and skipped those that posed real danger. Afterward, Benavidez repeated that Canelo had lost interest in taking risks.
Any advice for them as far as boxing business?
Because, you know, the fighters always get the less money, and some of the fighters they need to take the money, the guarantee money, right? Because they don't make a lot of money in the fights, right? But they are as a fighter.
According to Benavidez and others, Canelo was only chasing a huge payday. While many were shocked, Benavidez saw nothing new, even predicting Canelo would continue the pattern. Oscar de la Hoya told Fight Hype that the result was less about decline and more about style. He dismissed the idea that Alvarez is finished but admitted the future depends on matchmaking. Don't get me wrong, Canelo against the right opponent, someone who stands in front, fights, makes it a brawl, Canelo knocks him out. So, I'm not saying he's done. It's far from it. It's all on matchmaking, all on who he faces, and all about squeezing the last dollars from fans.
You see, Canelo is a strong fighter, and every punch he throws comes with power, right? That breaks down the body. Physically, his body is breaking down. Plus, he just had a kid. Canelo wants to go enjoy his life. He wants to keep his wits, keep his mind together, stay sharp, and go enjoy a little bit of that money that he just made. But he could not pass the torch to somebody that didn't respect the game. Canelo's at the top of the list. But Terence...
De La Hoya stressed that many believe Canelo can still win at the elite level, but only against styles that suit him. Eddie Hearn, however, sees it differently. Speaking with Sports Illustrated, he emphasized both the commercial and sporting appeal of a Crawford rematch. For him, the real question is whether Canelo can silence retirement talk. Fans want to see if Alvarez adjusts or if Crawford drives him closer to the exit. Hearn added, Canelo could shock everyone with tactical changes, citing his history of reinventing his approach. He believes Alvarez can rearm himself with new tools to trouble Crawford.
You've been training Crawford for years. Is he retired or is he going to keep fighting?
He just got to take a break.
Is Terence Crawford retired or is he going to keep fighting?
Oh, he's going to keep fighting.
He's going to keep fighting?
Yeah.
You're the man. Be man. Hey, congratulations. Enjoy the win.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In their first fight, Canelo looked sharp early. He controlled the opening rounds with counterpunches and kept Crawford wary, but the tide turned late. Between rounds 9 and 12, Crawford took over, landing the cleaner shots and forcing Alvarez onto defense. For most observers, that swing sealed the fight. Hearn's belief is that with a stronger late-round plan, the outcome could shift in a rematch.
We already know, we knew Crawford is a great fighter, and I did what I supposed to do, right? I tried for every way, and I trained really hard, and he deserved all the credit. No,
Chris Eubank Jr. also shares optimism, calling his second fight massive and insisting Canelo has the weapons to change the script. To him, Alvarez's experience and power are unmatched if used properly. His support highlighted the faith other fighters share. Canelo still has dangerous tools, but he must prove adaptability. Trainer Robert Garcia also backed a rematch, saying hunger would be the deciding factor. If he comes back with real hunger, he could beat Crawford. Speaking to Fight Hype, Garcia added that Alvarez needs to avoid the same mistakes, pressing his power edge from start to finish instead of coasting late. His comments echoed the sport's larger theme. Canelo's skill remains intact, but his desire to use it fully will determine his future.
I would love to see the rematch. I think in the rematch, if he comes back with the hunger that he needs, he could beat Crawford. Because Crawford, is very talented, but I think Canelo could beat him. Canelo's strong, man. Canelo's strong. Canelo could take a good punch. So I think he could just go and don't respect his punch and throw punches even though you're gonna get hit, but don't.
For Crawford, the victory over Alvarez, planned or not, opened new opportunities. Yet debate surrounds his next opponent. Some analysts expect him to steer clear of the most dangerous threats. Fighters like David Benavidez, Dimitri Bivol, Diego Pacheco, and Bektemir Melikuziev all bring size and power that could offset Crawford's slickness. Facing them carries high risk with uncertain gain. Instead, many anticipate Crawford choosing marketable names with big purses but lower risk, such as Jermall Charlo or Hamza Shiraz.
Potential rematch, as a Canelo fan, I don't really want to see that. I don't think there will be much difference. I don't think Canelo can bring anything to the table that's going to surprise Crawford. He's a different fighter now. If this was 10 years ago, yes, I think the fight could have gone a different way. But there's no point in even thinking that because Canelo's a different fighter now. They fought today. They fought when Crawford is older as well, so I can't be trying to say, well, Canelo's not in his prime.
The business side of boxing plays a role here. Crawford's win has raised him to a level where he can demand huge purses, but choosing the right opponents will decide how long he keeps that leverage. On the other side, Canelo's move will also shape the picture. If he seeks immediate redemption against Crawford, that bout could draw massive worldwide attention. If instead, he takes another route by facing a more favorable style, it may suggest his career is entering its closing stage.
Between Terence Crawford and Canelo, personally, I do not want to see a rematch. Usually rematches are in order when it's a very close fight and you can't really tell, which fighter won. There's a lot of close rounds, swing rounds, and that wasn't the case in this fight. Terence Crawford won pretty handedly. I personally scored the fight 9-3, being generous, you can give it 8-4.
Even though critics say Canelo is chasing money, most believe not even money can protect him from the position he put himself in by accepting the payday with Crawford. The reality is boxing now runs on money fights. It doesn't matter if a fighter is past prime or visibly slowing. If the numbers are big enough, the fight happens. That's exactly what occurred here. Canelo was already declining, but the Crawford fight was too big financially to ignore. The issue is, while the money piles up, the toll on the body continues. For Canelo, it might have been the one payday too far.
Saw that. So Coca-Cola, I'm buying.
I risk my life in the ring, and everybody's making money too. It's not that they don't making money, they making money, but the fighter needs to make more than everybody.
Trainer Ronnie Shields immediately called for Canelo's retirement after the defeat. Speaking to Fight Hub TV, he said what he witnessed against Crawford told him all he needed. It's over. He didn't see energy. He didn't see sharpness. And he didn't see the Canelo who could march forward and dictate the pace. For Shields, this isn't about changing trainers or adjusting tactics, it's father time. No coach alive can save Canelo at this point, he said. Fire Eddie Reynoso, hire someone else, it won't matter. His body has stopped responding. Once that happens, no training can fix it.
Not a name to have just one name at 160, 154. I mean, it's just hard for him, ideally, to just see a fight. No names resonating at the moment. Would you be okay to see him retire?
I would. Look, he's had a great career also. Yes, he's older, but...
Oscar De La Hoya countered with another view. As a promoter, he still believes there's a way to extend things. He said Canelo could possibly freshen his career if he parts ways with Reynoso and adds a new trainer, maybe even Shields himself. But Shields dismissed the idea, insisting the problem is deeper. Canelo has fought at the highest level since his teenage years, endless wars, countless camps, and punishment. Crawford, meanwhile, has fewer bouts, fewer grueling battles, and fresher legs. Shields said Canelo's body is essentially begging him to quit, and the longer he resists, the worse it will become.
Yeah, look, I mean, the only thing I can tell him or give him advice in is get a new trainer. I can't advise him on retiring or staying in boxing. That's a very personal decision. But I can say, hey, get a new trainer. You'll do better.
The signs back this up. Since the Dimitri Bivol fight in May 2022, Canelo hasn't looked the same. He's still been winning, yes, but without dominance. He hasn't scored stoppages. He's looked fatigued late, beating opponents he could handle even while declining. Crawford was a different story. Canelo couldn't overpower him with size. And when the bout went deep, his conditioning collapsed. Shields is right, the body always reveals the truth eventually.
Now, if we see a fight where Canelo Alvarez looks old, and guess what? He's old. Right? And it might be a case of him being less than he was. And
Interestingly, Shields also gave advice regarding Crawford that surprised many. He suggested even Bud should think of retiring soon, maybe after one more fight. At 38, Crawford remains sharp, but many argue it's smarter to leave before decline sets in. Shields even proposed dropping to 160, winning a belt there, and then walking away. His reason is that defending at 168 is risky, the contenders are younger, hungrier, and stronger. He noted that if Crawford fought someone like Christian Billy, it would be trouble. Billy throws non-stop, never allowing room to breathe. Crawford beat Canelo because Canelo slowed and gave space, but against a relentless younger foe, that wouldn't be possible.
floating around as a potential opponent for Canelo, but the big question has been, is Christian ready for that opportunity? Is he ready for the moment? Do you feel after this Saturday that you are ready for a fight with whoever wins the fight against Crawford and Canelo?
I'm born ready. Yeah, I'm born ready. Yeah. I'm born ready for this fight.
Still, retirement rarely matches reality, especially with money involved. Crawford is now undisputed at 168 and one of boxing's biggest names. That's why Turki Alashik quickly teased a matchup with David Benavidez, asking if he could still make 168. It was a clear signal, he wants Crawford versus Benavidez. That type of fight sparks conversation and, more importantly, generates tens of millions.
You want to fight Canelo? Would you ever entertain a fight with the Mexican monster David Benavidez? But you want Canelo? But you want Canelo?
You gotta understand, like.
But I gotta ask you, bro, because I can't, you know.
My thing is, Benavidez is a big dude. You know what I mean? Not to say I won't fight him. I fought his brother.
Crawford himself admitted he's weighing options. Speaking to Ring Magazine on X, he said he will sit with his team and decide between middleweight and super middleweight. The issue with middleweight is clear, there's no money there. The champions are Janibek Alimkhanuly, Arislan De Lara, and Carlos Adams. Good fighters, yes, but not stars. None of them sell pay-per-view. None excite fans in the US or UK. And none convince Turkey to write massive checks. Shields is correct, Crawford could grab a belt there, but financially, it doesn't add up.
Canelo?
Turkey
people, people are talking about it.
Turkey hinted at that. He was like Benavidez.
Yeah, he
Turkey,
did.
So.
Turkey just posted that this morning, wondering if Benavidez can make 168. Maybe he has plans or ideas of maybe trying to match up Benavidez and Terence Crawford. No. Maybe playing them.
That's why Benavidez is the golden ticket. The main question is whether he can still make 168 without issue, but if he can, the fight is huge. Benavidez is young, unbeaten, and has long waited for a shot at an elite opponent. Crawford is older, yet with his skills, many fans think he has a chance even with a size disadvantage. Reactions online came fast. Some insisted Bud would outbox Benavidez with ease. Others said Benavidez's size and pressure would overwhelm him. Either way, everyone agreed it's a fight worth making.
They both need this fight. It's a storyline there. You beat my brother. I need that revenge. I'm the Mexican monster. You a pound for pound great. You coming up. Let's do it. If Terence Crawford beats David Benavidez, I don't even think he needs to fight Canelo. You automatically have to put Terence Crawford in top 5 or top 10 all time.
Other names are also in play. Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev at 175 remain possibilities. If Crawford took that path and won, it would be historic. Jaron Ennis and Virgil Ortiz are still active, but both fight at welterweight and don't bring the same intrigue now that Crawford has cleared that division. Sebastian Fundora is another option, though more of a wild card. The truth is, at this stage, the only fights that truly matter for Bud are the ones that sell. Legacy is sealed. Now, it's about the money.
See Bivol, Bud next, since Bud's so strong. That's what I said. Why are you talking about 54? None of them dudes gonna get you up. If you truly beat Canelo, why not be the greatest fighter in the existence of boxing? Like, Bivol is the only dude to beat 2 undisputed active champions. Like, he beat Canelo as an undisputed champion, and he beat Beterbiev as an undisputed.
And that's really what boxing is now. The sport no longer revolves around mandatories or rankings, it's about which fights generate the biggest global buzz. Turki Alashik has reshaped the game with his deep pockets, and fighters like Crawford are perfectly positioned to profit. That's why, even with voices like Ronnie Shields urging retirement, it's hard to see Crawford stepping away. The money is too strong, the spotlight too bright, and the chance to make history still alive.
Bomac, you've been training Crawford for years. Is he retired or is he going to keep fighting?
He just got to take a break.
Is Terence Crawford retired or is he going to keep fighting?
Oh, he's going to keep fighting.
Is he going to keep fighting?
Yeah.
You're the man. Be man. Hey, congratulations. Enjoy the win.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fans online are already mapping fantasy paths for him. Some want him to grab a middleweight belt, then jump to light heavyweight to face Bivol or Beterbiev. If he did that, he'd become just the second man in history to capture titles in 7 weight divisions. That would put him in a conversation even Mayweather never entered, elevating his claim as the greatest ever. Others say forget 160 and 175, just fight Benavidez next and deliver the clash fans have long demanded. Either way, there's no doubt money drives every decision. Canelo's loss to Crawford proved fighters will still risk everything if the payday is right. Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more updates.